Hello, everybody. So I just wanted to briefly put into perspective the sell-off from yesterday. It kind of felt like a mini carry trade, mini Japan carry trade, and these things often happen on Mondays or on Tuesdays when you have a long holiday. And I just want to point out how it doesn't make any sense. I mean, like, do we seriously believe that the Nasdaq, in a matter of 10 trading hours or 12 trading hours, if you look at after hours, do we really think the Nasdaq has lost 3.3% of its value? These companies are still the leading companies. Tesla has had a bunch of good news over the weekend. They're doing so well. I was in Florida this weekend for Labor Day, and I could not believe how many Cybertrucks are everywhere over there, just like in Texas. It's anecdotal, of course, but again, I cannot tell you how many Ubers use Teslas. The product is the winning product. You just feel it. You just feel it. I don't know how to explain. You get that same idea of people who bought Apple in 2011 to 2012 who started realizing what Apple was going to be. Well, Tesla, Tesla is doing that for me. There's no, and of course, don't hold me to that statement, right? It's I've done much more in-depth videos on Tesla. This is just a quick video, just to reassure my viewers about the sell-off. Same for Bitcoin. So you have the Asian market that opens, and then boom, the Asian market opens because it's fearful of the Tuesday we just had here in the US, and boom, Bitcoin sells off. And CleanSpark, let me not even get started about CleanSpark. There's no guarantee that doubling of shares is going to pass. And then, in my view, they would not issue the shares at $9. And, the pocket lining of CEOs, this argument that so many people put forward, I hate to say it, but I think it's somewhat of a newbie argument. CEOs have in their best interest for the stock to go up when you operate in a field like Bitcoin, in a field that is so future-oriented like Bitcoin. We're not talking about the CEO of, say, a GM or CVS here. And actually, there's been 2 recent interviews dropped about the CEO of CleanSpark, which I encourage you to look at. This company is on top of things, but compared to my video from 2 days ago, the stock is down 15%. I'm sure tomorrow when trading opens, it will be down a little more if Bitcoin's at 56,000. They actually produced decent numbers for me at their last August report. They now have 8,500 shares, more than that, like I had intimated in my prior video, kind of guessed. So it's steady Eddie, going along. Nothing fundamental has changed about that business. There's no guarantee it gets approved, and there's no even if the new share issuance get approved, they won't dilute at $9. I don't think they will do that. And even if they did, I remember doing a video on this channel showing crazy dilution on stocks. But as long as the stock price outperforms the dilution, that's okay too. It always makes me feel a little strange that people seem to have a keen understanding of dilution of stocks, but when it comes to the US dollar, and when you're faced with fact at how quickly the US dollar is diluting itself, nobody seems to really care, right? And that's why I named the channel Beat the Denominator, because the odds are the thing that's diluting the most is not your stocks, not the shares, not the underlying shares in your stock. That's not what's diluting the most. What's diluting the most is the US dollar. So we have a market sell-off. Any rational person is going to have a very hard time explaining why stocks one day are worth 3%, 15% more in the case of CleanSpark than another day. I believe the stocks that I cover on the channel, and some people have called me like a uber bull. I saw in the comment section saying I'm like a super bull or something. I'm not a super bull. I just cover the stocks that I like, and I'm not gonna make a video on a stock that I don't like. And there's 8,000 publicly listed securities, and I cover maybe 20 stocks over and over and over again. And a good idea for you to know if I like a stock or not is, do I keep covering that stock? If I keep covering that stock, I like that stock. If I cover the stock just once, and I don't cover it again, even if I say in the video I consider buying it, that means I didn't buy it. You know what I mean? So I cover the stocks that I like a lot. You know, if you watch this channel and you don't like HIMS, and you know how often I cover HIMS, well, you know, I'm sorry, because I love that stock. So I'm going to talk about it. So the market really, you know, it makes no sense. It's got no memory about two of the great news that we have. The first one that I'll discuss here is the telegraphed rate cuts. The rate cuts are telegraphed, and you know, we likely will get 3 times 25 basis point rate cuts. You know, that's huge news. The markets go up usually when this happens. That's good news. And the recession. People say, oh, we're in a recession. We've been in a recession for years. I remember being laughed at in this channel for saying we're in a recession, you know, a year and a half ago when my channel, I guess, didn't have the social proof of earning these followers. To me, we've been in a recession. You know, I see it around. Less and less people are going out. Yeah, money is tight. You know, that's what happens when your insurance on your home triples and on your car does a 5x and that sort of stuff. I'm being facetious, but it's close to that in some areas. And then we have election years. And what does the research show on election years? Whether it's the left or the right on the election rates, the market outperforms. And I just want to say, you know, obviously this is not a political channel, but the markets tend to outperform a little more when it is the right that is winning. And if you look at right now at Polymarket, which is the most accurate prediction, at least what most people seem to think is the most accurate. I mean, it's people betting on it, people betting on the elections. It doesn't have the problem of sample bias in the poll. Trump is set to lead at 51%, but if you actually dig a little deeper into this poll, my intuition is that the election is going to be decided in Pennsylvania. And if you've been through Pennsylvania, Pennsylvania looks very much like Ohio to me. I lived in Ohio for like 7 years. I can tell you, you know, I don't know which way it's going to go, but it seems like Pennsylvania is going to decide the election. And if you look at the latest poll, well, the right-leaning candidate is leading in the latest poll. So we'll see how that goes. But it doesn't matter. Regardless of who wins, markets tend to outperform in an election year. So that's 2 rational pieces of news, you know, where you can exert judgment on the whole market. And if I ask you this, has anything ever changed, right? Does it look like Tesla is still not going to be the leader in electric cars? Does it look like that has changed at all? Has the thesis changed at all for the next 10 years for Tesla? Yes, it's changed. It's gotten way stronger, way stronger. The competition is hurting, right? Rivian, turns out, may not be a thing because, you know, Volkswagen now is having issues. Their main support, right? Everybody's exiting. Everybody's exiting the car market, the electric car market, right? GM is exiting. Ford is slowly phasing things out and exiting. It has never looked better for Tesla, you know, compared to 2021 when people were saying, oh, there's going to be Tesla killers, everybody's going to have electric cars, and then people will go back to their brands. Well, they've just given up. And that's amazing news. And the AI at Tesla is doing better and better and better with their actual smart summon now that they released and all of that sort of stuff. You know, let me be funny again here. Triple Q down 3.3% today. Does it seem like the top 6, top 7 companies in the NASDAQ are going to stop dominating the world of business? Literally dominating everything. I mean, does it seem like Microsoft is going to stop crushing every single SaaS company that ever wants to compete with it just by adding a piece to Microsoft 365 for free? Does it seem like that's going to change? I mean, you know, Google, the narrative was, oh, Google's going to win, it's going to lose AI. Google's going to lose AI. Well, they issued a red alert, and now Gemini is one of the most popular AI. It doesn't seem to me like the dominance is down at all. So the down 3%, I don't make any sense. And when it comes to CleanSpark, MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin, if you follow this channel, you know my main thesis for these. It's the money supply going up. Does it look like the money stock, M2 money stock, M2 money supply? Does it look like we do a 180? Does it look like we're erasing the debt? Does it look like it's growing? Well, it's growing tremendously, and it's going to keep growing, likely outperforming the 15% a year. All of the tightening has not reduced the money supply. It barely made a dent, and it's back up again, which means fixed asset like Bitcoin versus a denominator that is just melting and melting and melting, multiplying itself. You divide everything you love, everything that has ever existed, by how many dollars are out there. And if there's more dollars 1 year from now than there are today, then you got your return. 15% more dollars 1 year from now than today. That means that your hard asset, whose supply has not changed, that hard asset theoretically goes up by 15%. And that's the case of Bitcoin, because it has a hard cap of 21 million. And that's actually a little better for Bitcoin, because a lot of people lose their Bitcoin. And whenever that happens, you get fewer Bitcoin. So it's a deflationary asset. So again, not a lot of deep content in this video. It's just a don't panic video. As far as I'm concerned, all of these sell-offs, they are major opportunities. Yes, we're tired of buying the dip, but if you have an income, if you have a salary, if you set aside some money for your stock every month, you'll be buying some stock, you know. And I'll conclude with this: the stock that I cover on this channel, whenever you buy it, let's say you allocate, I don't know, $1,000 a month to one stock or two stocks, you're going to be buying way less of those favorites today than you were a year or year and a half. For example, MicroStrategy, right? It would be, I mean, after this major collapse, right? It would be $1,200. Remember, they did a 1-for-10 stock split. It would be $1,200. I was making this video 11 months ago exactly, and I just replaced it, and I'm casually saying $300 for MicroStrategy is a good deal, and I'm buying at $300. Now the stock is at $1,200 if you remove the adjustment from the split, right? So it's like casually saying, oh, $30 seems like a good deal. You know, it did a 4x. We've been well treated on MicroStrategy, you know, and I still think MicroStrategy is a good deal at 122, and I still add to it as the money from my main job comes in. The same is true for Tesla. Well, Tesla has been rather flat, but, you know, we all remember getting some Tesla near 100. If you follow the channel, you know, at the turn of 2023, many YouTubers, many people, I mean, nobody followed my channel back then, but many people were making videos. This is just a random video saying I'm buying the dip at 169, so it's 210, you know. It was almost 250 a month ago. And then HIMS, right? 1 year ago exactly, HIMS, I remember that was in September. Is HIMS only worth 674 multi-bagger potential? And of course it's done that and then some. It's done the 2.6x. It's done it in 1 year. And HIMS was trading at $25, right? So it's a roller coaster. I don't want to make it seem like I'm showing just the winners. You know, may I remind you, FIGs didn't do too well. There's a few other stocks that I've covered that didn't do too well, but you know, I didn't cover FIGs every other video like HIMS. You know, I did not cover STEM every other video like I'm covering Tesla every other video, right? And so that's the reason why you know, some stocks perform more than better. And the key to me has always been, you know, I always have 5% of my positions. They're play positions. They're just out there for me to keep track. You know, I see them in the broker. I see the name in the broker. In my broker, it shows up or down, but I know which positions are meaningful and which positions are not. And when it comes to Tesla, when it comes to Bitcoin and the Bitcoin derivatives, when it comes to HIMS, when it comes to Enphase, need to do an Enphase video pretty soon. These are very, very high convictions. I have a few more, right? Mercado Libre, Nubank, SoFi. These are very high convictions. And so, yeah, this sell-off does not worry me whatsoever. And if it sells off again tomorrow when the market opens, well, we'll see what we can buy. So this was not investment advice. This is just entertainment, edutainment. No financial advice ever on this channel. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you for watching and have a great day.